Chippewas of Beausoleil, Drama, and Georgina Island, who is our close neighbor and partner in education. To honor this agreement, we will take up our responsibility to be respectful of the traditions, knowledge, and inherent rights as sovereign nations. We will respect the relationship of these lands and recognize that our connection to this land is through the continued relationship with these First Nations. And we acknowledge our shared responsibility to respect and care for the land and waters for future generations. So, moving forward, the approval of agenda. Without objection, the agenda shall be adopted. Is there any opposition? Without objection, the agenda is approved. If any member of the audit committee who has a direct personal interest or direct or indirect pecuniary interest in any matter being discussed during the meeting, to state the conflict and nature thereof now. Oh, okay, thank you. Approval of minutes for the November 24th, 2025 meeting. The minutes of the November 24th, 2025 audit committee public session have been distributed to all committee members. Are there any corrections to the minutes? Seeing none, and there seems no corrections. The November 24th, 2025 minutes are approved as presented. Now, at this moment, I would like to welcome BDO Canada LLP engagement partner, Josh Shagiani. See, this time, I've been working on this. And also BDO manager Ki-Hun Hong to speak to the audit service plan founded on page 5 through 30 of the agenda package. Okay, so right. So let's begin.
Perfect.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you everyone for your time this evening. So we'll go through our audit planning communication. It's in a new template this year, a little newer and fresher, but a lot of the content remains the same. But by all means, if there's any questions as you're going along, please feel free to hear our questions as we go through. So we'll go through onto the, thank you for scrolling through the audit timeline, page 5 of the letter. So we're presenting our audit communication, of course, today on June 1st. This is in relation to the year end of the school board ended August 31st of this year. Our final audit fieldwork will begin in October. So after the meeting, of course, is completed. And then the final meeting with the audit committee will have the template for that near the end of the year, finalizing in November, December, in accordance with previous years. With respect to the auditor's responsibilities on the financial statements, that's on page 6 of our letter. So the auditor works with management towards the timely issuance of the financial statements. They're still management's financial statements. However, we provide timely constructive management letters, recommendations, and note any deficiencies and internal controls we identify as part of our audit. And those are brought up to the attention of this committee and of course management prior to that. And we present our significant findings as well as present the risks in our approach and also the results of that in our final meeting after year end. Moving to the next page of our letter, the auditor's responsibilities related to fraud. So we're responsible for identifying and assessing the risk of fraud. So this is in all entities in Canada. This is not, of course, specific to the board. We're required to obtain sufficient and appropriate audit evidence as well over how management assesses the risk of fraud, as well as the processes and controls they have in place to address and mitigate it. We're not currently aware of any fraud affecting the board. If you were to be aware, anyone of management or any trustees on the board have any questions around it, or as well as processes related to it, you have both Key, mine, and Marcus's contact information in the letter, and you're more than welcome to reach out. But we're not currently aware of any fraud affecting the organization. I'll pass it over to Key to talk through these significant risks and responses to that.
Right. So for significant risks, we have 2 presumed risks which are very hard to rebut for 99% of audit. First, fraud risk. First significant risk is management override control. This is raised because management is in a unique position where they can override internal controls, leading to manipulating financial resources. To address this risk, we're going to select the sample of journal entries and test the appropriateness of the journal entries, especially around the preparation of financial statements. And for any significant transactions during the year, we're going to obtain an understanding of the business rationale And also, we're gonna review significant accounting estimates for biases. And we will incorporate elements of unpredictability in our audit as well. Moving on to fraud risk in revenue recognition. This is a risk raised because revenue may be incorrectly deferred or recognized during the year. And to address this risk, we're gonna do a confirmation procedure to agree to all the grant revenue. And also, we're gonna obtain continuous scheduled revenue and we're gonna individually vouch the amounts to the supporting documentations. Moving on to other risks and planned responses. The first risk is complex IT environment. We determined IT applications and IT environment around the financial reporting to be complex. Hence, we're gonna involve IS audit specialists to perform walkthroughs and IT internal controls testings. With respect to payroll, we understand this is big expense in the income statement. So we're going to select a sample of payroll expenses, and we're gonna also perform various analytical procedures. On to tangible capital assets. For the additions, we're gonna select a sample and bring back to the supporting documentations. And for amortization, we will recalculate the amortization expenses based on the rates on the financial statements. We will also test the indicators of impairments and classification. Next page is about materiality. Materiality is an audit concept that drives the sample size and scope of the audit. And we think misstatements and omissions exceeding materiality will skew the decisions of the financial statement users. And we determined the prelim materiality to be 47.5 million this year, based on 2.5% of prior year expenses. So if there's any changes in actual reserves, we're gonna update the final materiality and report back to the committee. Also, we will communicate all the corrected and uncorrected misstatements above triviality for 5% of materiality. The next page, the remainder of the presentations are additional resources regarding our audit processes and quality and our softwares in audit. Just want to highlight there's some light readings as well. QR codes and light readings. Just want to highlight upcoming changes in standards, which is page 20, with respect to PS 1202. It's hard to find, but yeah. This is solely related to financial statement presentation and disclosure. So even with the changes, the numbers on the financial statement will change. So surpluses or deficit will stay the same. I just want to highlight because this may impact the next year's financial statement, not this year, but we can initiate the discussion about the changes and then we can discuss with the management how to update the financial statement presentation this year. The remainder is also some more readings regarding ESG and public sector insights. And that concludes our presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Hong and Mr. Trigiani. I'll say it right. And I'll open the floor to committee members and staff. Like, are there any questions for Mr. Hong and Mr. Trigiani? I have time. Can I answer?
Absolutely.
Okay, so first of all, 47.5 million. That's a big number. Right, so is that the impact statement or is it something you expect to identify?
Absolutely not something we expect to identify. So as Key mentioned, that's the figure that any misstatements in total in aggregate identified were greater than that, the financial statements would be deemed to be materially misstated. So that is the uppermost threshold for which we would say if there were errors that were not corrected, we would say the statements, we would not be able to issue a clean opinion to be the same. There are errors that were greater than our material threshold. That is not the threshold. We're not looking at anything less than that. That is in aggregate. If we identify misstatements greater than that, we wouldn't be in a position to issue a clean opinion.
Okay. All right, so then also, like, I noticed the stuff that you'll be auditing, a very high level fit to the central core, like of the operation. You won't be doing any view level auditing, like any transactions on the, like, for example, school level?
Absolutely, we do school generated funds testing. So what's included in our letter is the first page, with the revenue risk and the management override, those are our significant risks. Then we also highlight other significant risks that are not considered highly significant under auditing standards. But this is a high level summary of our audit. It's not inclusive, this is not an all inclusive summary of what's included in the audit.
Okay.
That would be a much longer, far more boring presentation.
We went like that. So I guess we noticed all the risks and all the areas that you identified from staff level. Like, is there anything that you all want to have a look at? Anything else? So I'm assuming you guys work together, come up that list already. So you good with that?
Yeah, we haven't had any, through Mr. Chair, we haven't had any large system changes or financial practice changes that. So when we did our HRP conversion, BDO did a deep dive on our HR and payroll transactions to make sure that our conversion was 100% successful in terms of paying people the way that we're supposed to. So when we have those significant changes, BDO does do a deeper dive into the IT systems and HR and payroll. We don't have any large changes, but we will be having a follow-up conversation around the statement of financial position and perhaps creating the two different schedules and the two different formats so that next year we can restate for comparison purposes and we'll have done it. But that would be the only comment just that.
Yeah, because I noticed in the past years, these some of the high areas that we've been looking at over and over again. So just looking to make sure we don't have anything we missed that we want them to look at. Yeah, at that point in time. So good. Are there more questions from the committee members? And everyone, anyone? Other than that, thank you very much, Mr. Trigiani and Mr. Hall. Thank you. At this point, we'd like to welcome Regional Internal Audit Senior Manager Paula Head to speak to the Regional Internal Audit Team status update on page 31 and 34. Please, Ms. Head.
Okay, thank you. Through you, Chair. The RIAD update is an information item that we share at each meeting to provide an update on our planned engagements and other things that my team has been working on since the last meeting. I am pleased to share that we have a number of updates for this meeting. The most impactful is that our team is now fully staffed. So we've gone from a team of 4 back in November to a team of 7 today. So we brought on 2 regional internal audit specialists in permanent positions, Joan and Jordan, and they're both designated internal audit professionals. In addition, Rupam, who has been a specialist on our team for many years, has taken on a 1-year manager role. And then in backfilling her role, we brought on Matthew, who has a skill set that will be an asset to our advisory engagements. So he has a lot of that consulting experience. This additional capacity, especially in the next year, will allow us to more timely deliver on our audit projects and as well as our follow-up activities. So I would like to thank Donna for participating on the hiring panel for the manager position. In terms of our planned engagements, we've completed the employee absenteeism advisory engagement, as well as the budget consultation process review. As well, the analysis of the courses and extracurricular activities is now underway. So we anticipate kicking off the privacy engagement in the new school year, once we've completed the engagement that is currently in progress. We've also finished a follow-up on a payroll HR audit that was done back in 2018. And that clears out the oldest item that was on our follow-up register. Looking forward, we do plan to refresh our audit plan in the new year, the new school year. And as part of that, we will be presenting in the annual report that we present every year. I will be including a list of engagements that have been done throughout the region, as well as a high-level scope for each of those engagements for the audit committee's information. At least in as far as the information is publicly available. So that will give you an idea of the work that we're doing at other boards. So that concludes my update, but I'd be happy to take any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hunt. Are there any questions for Ms. Hunt? I think there's a couple of items you'll complete, very interesting coming up. We look forward to hear that. So, thank you, Ms. Hunt. At this point in time, I would like to invite Controller, Financial Operations and Risk Management, and then we're gonna to present the 7-month reporting update found on page 35. And so, thanks. Please go ahead.
Thank you, and through you, Chair Law. The March report is required from school boards to consolidate broader public sector organizations into the province's audited financial statements. Province's fiscal or financial year runs from April 1st to March 31st, while our boards is from September 1st to August 31st. Therefore, the objective of the March report is to capture the board's asset and liability account balances as of March 31st and 7 months revenues and expenses, supplementary notes, and the 7 months capital activity. Consistent with prior years, the board is required to engage the external auditors, BDO, to perform specified audit procedure as opposite to the audit on some of the schedules relating to the financial reporting requirements. The external auditors conducted this engagement. BDO completed their review, and the board reported audited financial statements to the ministry within specified timeline, which was by May 15th. And this concludes my update on the March reporting, and thank you, and over to you, Chair Law.
Thank you, Rihanna. Are there any questions for Rihanna? As if there are no questions, I think we're moved to time for adjournment to the next private session.
If I may, just to cover information item 9, the timing of key activities.
Oh, my bad.
That's okay.
You would.
It's just because it's me anyways.
Yes,
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Chair Watt, and through you. The information number 9, timing of key activities, can be found on pages 37 through 39 of the public agenda package. This is a detailed overview of the timing of key activities for our upcoming meetings. This schedule outlines the major spending, information, and decision items schedules for a fiscal year. And if you have any questions with regards to timing of activities, if not, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm looking at item 11, it's adjournment now. So, if there are no questions, then this meeting is adjourned. Thank you. We'll be back 7:30 for the 7:30, right? Yeah, so we'll be back at 7:30 for the private session, okay?